Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anubha Rohatgi, and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. The headlines. Centre to begin free distribution of 75% of total COVID vaccines to all states and union territories from tomorrow. Over 27 crore 66 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. More than 29 crore vaccine doses provided to states and union territories by the centre. Less than 60,000 daily new COVID cases reported in the country after 81 days. COVID national recovery rate improves to 96.27%. Telangana lifts COVID lockdown completely. Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh announce relaxations in lockdown restrictions in view of declining COVID-19 cases. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address lead event of 7th International Day of Yoga tomorrow. Yoga Day to be celebrated in about 190 countries globally. In cricket, India to resume first innings at overnight score of 146 for 3 against New Zealand on day 3 of the World Test Championship final. And in Euro Cup football, Italy to play against Wales while Switzerland takes on Turkey tonight in Group A matches. As the nation gears up for free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years from tomorrow, we advise our listeners to get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow the 4 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene, and get vaccinated. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news. The centre will kickstart from tomorrow the free distribution of 75% of total COVID vaccines cleared by the Central Drug Lab to all states and union territories. This includes vaccines for beneficiaries of all age groups, including those between 18 and 44 years. The move is aimed at strengthening and further ramping up the COVID-19 vaccination drive in the country. The procurement of vaccines by the centre, which is currently 50% of the total doses cleared by the Central Drug Lab, will now be enhanced to 75%. The vaccines will then be given to all states and union territories for administration to people of all age groups. The remaining 25% of vaccines can be purchased by private hospitals, who will be able to charge a maximum service charge of 150 rupees for a single dose after the fixed price of the vaccine. The announcement regarding this was made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the 7th of this month in his address to the nation.
21 जून सोमवार से देश के हर राज्य में 18 वर्ष से ऊपर की उम्र के सभी नागरिकों के लिए भारत सरकार राज्यों को मुफ्त वैक्सीन मुहैया कराएगी। वैक्सीन निर्माताओं से कुल वैक्सीन उत्पादन का 75% हिस्सा भारत सरकार खुद ही खरीदकर राज्य सरकारों को मुफ्त देगी। यानी देश की किसी भी राज्य सरकार को वैक्सीन पर कुछ भी खर्च नहीं करना होगा।
After commencement of this policy, the states and union territories will not have to pay any amount for the procurement of vaccines, as the centre will bear the entire expense for the same. An early estimate suggests that the new policy will cost the centre over 15,000 crore rupees more than its previously allocated 35,000 crore rupees for the vaccination program in the current financial year. The centre will also pay the GST of 5% on the vaccines procured, making vaccination at government facilities completely free for all eligible beneficiaries.
The country has successfully administered over 27 crore 66 lakh vaccine doses so far. The Union Health Ministry informed that more than 38 lakh 10,000 vaccine doses were given in the country in the past 24 hours. Out of this, nearly 32 lakh beneficiaries were vaccinated the first dose, whereas over 5 lakh beneficiaries received their second dose of the vaccine. More than 29 crore 10 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories through centre and direct state procurement category. Of this, the total consumption, including wastages, is 26 crore 4 lakh 19,412 doses as per the latest data. The Health Ministry said over 3.06 crore COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and UTs to be administered. More than 24 lakh 53,000 vaccine doses are in the pipeline and will be received by the states and UTs within the next 3 days.
In Bihar, over 1 crore 32 lakh people have been vaccinated so far. Out of these, 33 lakh 64,000 are in the age group of 18 to 44 years. Meanwhile, the state government is carrying out an awareness campaign to vaccinate more people. Asghar Imam Qadri, a well-known Sufi saint of Aurangabad district, has appealed to the people to come forward for vaccination without any hesitation.
कुछ लोग अफवाह फैला रहे हैं कि वैक्सीन लगवाने से 2 साल के अंदर मौत हो जाएगी, तरह तरह की परेशानियां होंगी। ये सब गलत बातें हैं। ये किसी की साजिश नहीं है। वैक्सीन तमाम मुसलमानों ही को नहीं बल्कि पूरी दुनिया के लोगों को लगवाना चाहिए।
A beneficiary, Masooda Khatun, a resident of Kalami locality of Aurangabad, said she did not face any problem after getting vaccinated.
हम लोग ने वैक्सीन ले लिया है और वैक्सीन से कोई साइड इफेक्ट नहीं है। सबको वैक्सीन लेना चाहिए। मेरे परिवार ने भी वैक्सीन लिया है, उससे किसी को कोई साइड इफेक्ट नहीं है। ये सभी के लिए वैक्सीन सबको लेना चाहिए। मेरी आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि जल्द से जल्द आप लोग वैक्सीन ले लें।
The Health Ministry has informed that new COVID cases remained below the 1 lakh mark in the country for the 13th consecutive day today. The recoveries registered in the country also outnumbered the daily new cases for the 38th consecutive day today. The country also witnessed less than 60,000 new COVID cases in a day after 81 days. 58,419 new cases were recorded nationwide in the past 24 hours. Over 87,000 COVID patients recovered in the same time span. With this, the COVID recovery rate in the country has further improved to 96.27%. The ministry added that so far over 2 crore 87 lakh people have recovered from the COVID-19 infection in the country. The active COVID cases in the country continue to witness consistent decline and comprise only 2.44% of the total reported cases. Currently, nearly 7,29,000 people are reported to be infected. The daily positivity rate also remains at 3.22%, much below 5% for the 13th consecutive day. The Health Ministry said that 1,576 COVID-related deaths were reported in the last 24 hours, taking the cumulative toll to 3,86,713.
COVID-19 testing in the country has surpassed another milestone with the cumulative testing figure crossing the mark of 39 crore 10 lakh. The Indian Council of Medical Research has informed that in the past 24 hours, more than 18 lakh 11,000 samples were tested across the country. As of today, 2,661 laboratories are engaged in the work of testing COVID samples in the country, which include 1,271 government and 1,390 private labs. The relaxations in COVID restrictions in Delhi has been further extended till 5 a.m. of 28th June. Delhi Disaster Management Authority today announced further easing of restrictions which were imposed during second wave of COVID-19. Public parks, gardens, golf clubs and outdoor yoga activities will be allowed from tomorrow. As per the guidelines, all markets, market complexes and malls will be open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restaurants have been allowed up to 50% of the seating capacity from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and bars from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m.
The Telangana government has announced lifting of lockdown completely from today. The decision came in the wake of decline in the number of COVID-19 cases and positivity rate in the state. The government has issued orders to this effect, opening up all sectors and removing all restrictions. Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa yesterday announced relaxations in lockdown norms in 16 districts of the state where COVID positivity rate is below 5%. These relaxations will be effective from tomorrow and continue till July 5th. In the remaining 14 districts with over 5% positivity rate, the lockdown norms will continue as before.
The Uttar Pradesh government is giving more relaxations in COVID restrictions from tomorrow. New guidelines have been issued by Chief Secretary of the state, Rajendra Kumar Tiwari, for the Corona curfew yesterday. We have a report.
As per the new orders, shopping malls and restaurants will be allowed to operate with 50% capacity on weekdays till 9 p.m. Other standalone shops and market complexes can also remain open for 5 days a week now. Government has decided to grant 2 more hours of relaxation in the statewide night curfew that currently remains imposed in all the 75 districts due to the coronavirus situation. Now shops in state can open for 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Night curfew will now be imposed from 9 p.m. across the state. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath today said that a new phase of vaccination will start from tomorrow and the decision of Prime Minister will help in getting people vaccinated faster. He said that we must take the benefit of the free vaccination starting from tomorrow and target should be to inoculate 6 lakh beneficiaries per day. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has extended lockdown in the state with some relaxations till the 28th of this month. In a statement today, the Chief Minister said that districts have been classified according to the prevailing COVID situation. More from our correspondent.
Relaxations have been allowed according to 3 categories in the state. 11 districts have been classified into number 1 category. COVID situation in these western districts are still a cause for concern. 23 districts are classified into 2nd category. Chennai, Tiruvallur, Kanchipuram and Chengalpet are into 3rd category. Standalone shops are allowed to function from morning 6 to 7 p.m. in category 3 districts. Film and TV shooting and post-production activities have been allowed with a minimum of 100 people. Maintenance work in theatres have been allowed for a day in a week after permission from BAO. Public transport like buses and metro trains will be allowed with 50% passenger capacity without air-conditioned facility. Private autos and taxis will be allowed after e-registration. Weddings are allowed in category 2 and 3 districts with 50 people and attendance and e-registration. Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
Madhya Pradesh recorded 110 new cases of COVID-19 and 30 deaths, while 365 patients recovered from the infection. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
The number of active cases in the state reduced to 2,442. Out of 52 districts in the state, 22 districts did not record a single new case. Meanwhile, crisis management committees, field staff are also conducting village-to-village campaign for vaccination. Different types of initiatives are being taken in the state for creating suitable atmosphere. In some villages, yellow rice is being given as invitation to vaccination center. Somewhere the watchmen are beating the drums in order to motivate people for vaccination. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
Contrary to the common belief, COVID-19 does not usually get transmitted through breast milk. On the contrary, the baby will receive antibodies against coronavirus through breast milk. The head of the Department of Neonatology at Jipmer Hospital in Puducherry, Dr. Adhisivam, said even if the mother is tested COVID positive, the newborn baby and mother should not be separated. We have more details in this report.
In a advisory, Dr. Adhisivam pointed out all babies should be exclusively breastfeeding for the first 6 months irrespective of the COVID status. COVID virus is usually not transmitted through breast milk. In contrast, the baby will receive antibodies against coronavirus through breast milk. The mother should wear a mask during breastfeeding and should also keep her hands clean. He further said that the lactating mothers should also get vaccinated against COVID. The severity of COVID infection among children has been less so far and hence there is no need to panic. But only when the adults in the family practicing wearing mask, hand hygiene, social distancing and vaccination against COVID. Chandra Mohan, AIR News, Puducherry.
The World Health Organization WHO today called upon countries in Southeast Asia region to scale up and rigorously implement public health and social measures. The WHO also emphasized that all efforts should be made to accelerate COVID-19 vaccination to prevent another surge as more countries confirmed the prevalence of highly transmissible variants of concern. Dr. Poonam Khetrapal Singh, Regional Director at WHO Southeast Asia, said there is the need to continuously strengthen efforts to test, trace and isolate. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Centre to begin free distribution of 75% of total COVID vaccines to all states and union territories from tomorrow. Over 27 crore 66 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. More than 29 crore vaccine doses provided to states and union territories by the centre. Less than 60,000 daily new COVID cases reported in the country after 81 days. COVID national recovery rate improves to 96.27%. Telangana lifts COVID lockdown completely. Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh announce relaxations in lockdown restrictions in view of declining COVID-19 cases. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address lead event of 7th International Day of Yoga tomorrow. Yoga Day to be celebrated in about 190 countries globally. In cricket, India to resume first innings at the overnight score of 146 for 3 against New Zealand on day 3 of World Test Championship final, and in Eurocup football, Italy to play against Wales, while Switzerland to take on Turkey tonight in Group A matches. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The Centre is disseminating awareness of national helpline numbers for the benefit of citizens during the COVID-19 pandemic. The helpline number of the Health and Family Welfare Ministry is 1075. The Child Helpline number is 1098. For senior citizens of Delhi, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, the helpline number is 14567. The helpline number of the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, for psychological support is 080 4611 00007. The Ayush COVID-19 Counselling helpline number is 14443. And MyGov WhatsApp help desk number is 9013151515.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the main event of the 7th International Day of Yoga tomorrow. In view of the pandemic, the lead event of the Yoga Day this year will be a televised program and is scheduled to begin at 6:30 a.m. on all Doordarshan channels. The event will also include an address by Minister of State for Ayush, Kiran Rijiju, and a live yoga demonstration by the Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga. The yoga demonstration will follow the Prime Minister's address, which is scheduled from 7 to 7:45 a.m. The live yoga demonstration will be further followed by messages from 15 spiritual leaders and yoga gurus. The main theme of the International Day of Yoga this year is Yoga for Wellness. The Culture Ministry will celebrate International Day of Yoga this year under the Yoga is an Indian Heritage campaign. The Yoga Day will be celebrated at 75 cultural places in the country, and there will be 45 minutes of yoga followed by 30 minutes of cultural programs. 4 cities in Maharashtra have been selected for this campaign. The International Day of Yoga will be celebrated in higher education institutions all over the country with the theme, Be with Yoga, Be at Home tomorrow. The theme motivates people to adopt healthy lifestyle and stay at home, do exercises and yoga. University Grants Commission, UGC, has issued an advisory to universities and colleges for the students, faculty members, officers and staff to participate in the 45-minute Common Yoga Protocol, CYP. Ahead of the International Day of Yoga tomorrow, the News Services Division of All India Radio in its Spotlight program is bringing you an exclusive interview with Secretary in Ministry of Ayush, Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha, on preparations for Yoga Day tomorrow.
From the beginning, when we have started 100 days countdown of International Day of Yoga 2021, we have started propagating this theme of Be with Yoga and Be at Home. The suggestion came from visitors of our social media, state governments, yoga organizations and different ministries of the Government of India. So Be with Yoga and Be at Home is largely popularized now, and everybody is having this message that now this year we'll do yoga but we'll stay home.
Mr. Kotecha urged people to participate in large numbers from home in the main event tomorrow.
Because of the pandemic situation, it is requested all of us should participate on this International Day of Yoga activities, and it will be live on Doordarshan and other TV channels across the country. So my avahan to all is that please participate into this IDY 2021 by staying home. So it is like Be with Yoga and Be at Home.
This interview can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards.
Several events are being organized across the country to mark the Yoga Day tomorrow. Amidst the restrictions in place in West Bengal due to COVID-19 pandemic, the 7th International Yoga Day will be celebrated at the Metcalfe Hall in Kolkata tomorrow. The staff of the Archaeological Survey of India ASI will participate in the event and practice different postures of yogasan under an instructor. The program has been organized by ASI in association with the Eastern Zonal Cultural Center to uphold the benefits of yoga. More from our Kolkata correspondent.
Yoga not only improves the flexibility and balance in our body, but also helps us to remove stress. Renowned yoga instructor Chirantan Chakraborty told AIR that practicing some postures regularly can help us build immunity.
With the help of breathing technique, pranayam, meditation and regular practice of balasana or child posture, bhujangasana, salvasana, matsyasana, this type of posture practice every day, you must increase your immunity and energy also.
While Yogasana will help build immunity, vaccination against COVID-19 is a must for every citizen above 18 years of age to fight the pandemic. Already, around 21 lakh people in the age group of 18 to 44 years have been vaccinated in the state. The center is going to provide free vaccination for all from tomorrow, and young people are eagerly waiting for their turn to take the jab free of cost. Madhuparna Dharshodhari, AIR News, Kolkata.
Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa and his senior cabinet colleagues will perform yoga at the Chief Minister's official residence tomorrow on the International Day of Yoga. The State Health and Medical Education Minister, Dr. K. Sudhakar, has appealed to the people to celebrate the Yoga Day in their homes and share photos and videos on social media. The minister said that a vaccination mela will be launched tomorrow, where the target is to inoculate 5 to 7 lakh persons over the age of 18.
Kerala will celebrate International Day of Yoga virtually by organizing various events tomorrow. National Ayush Mission will organize a 12-hour virtual yoga session, Yogathon, in the state. The missions of India abroad are coordinating various activities in the run-up to the Yoga Day in their respective countries, and as per reports, Yoga Day will be observed in about 190 countries globally. The United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, proclaimed 21st June as the International Day of Yoga, IDY, in their resolution adopted on 11th December 2014.
The 7th International Yoga Day was celebrated at the Indian Embassy at Beijing in China with enthusiasm today. More than 500 people, including many Chinese yoga enthusiasts and diplomats, gathered at the India House to participate in the event. The yoga session, including the common yoga protocol and advanced yoga demonstration, was led by one of the first Indian yoga gurus in China, Mohan Bhandari. In his brief remarks on the occasion, India's ambassador Vikram Misri highlighted the importance of yoga practice for the holistic health of every individual, especially in the time of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic.
We should not lose sight of the fact that yoga offers us a physical as well as a spiritual path to wellness. At a time when our mental faculties are being increasingly bombarded by external factors, yoga offers us the space to slow down our minds, relieve stress, and impart balance to our existence.
Mr. Misri, who himself is an avid yoga practitioner, noted that the central purpose of the physical aspects of yoga is to prepare the mind for meditation. He also complimented the director of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center of the Embassy of India for undertaking a series of yoga outreach events.
Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center of the Embassy of India, which has been undertaking a series of cultural and other events, including yoga outreach events, and not just in the run-up to this important day. In the coming days, it will be expanding its activities by taking up the very important task of certification of yoga professionals for the purposes of training.
All 15 Kashmir Valley railway stations, including Srinagar, are now integrated with 6,021 station rail Wi-Fi network. Railway Minister Piyush Goyal expressed his happiness, saying it is a crucial step for Digital India mission and will go a long way in connecting the unconnected. Public Wi-Fi provided under the brand name of RailWire is available at the 15 stations.
Lok Janshakti Party faction led by Chirag Paswan today held party's national executive meeting in New Delhi. It came amid Chirag Paswan's tussle with his uncle Pashupati Paras over the control on the party. Earlier, 5 LJP MPs joined Mr. Paras to divest Chirag Paswan of key positions and declared him as a party president. Yesterday, Paras-headed group had disbanded all bodies and state units of LJP and announced a new national executive. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Ibrahim Raisi on his election as President of Iran. In his message, Mr. Modi said he looks forward to working with him to further strengthen the warm ties between India and Iran.
In Sports Roundup, All India Radio brings the latest news updates in national and international sports arena throughout the day. With 34 days to go for Tokyo Olympic Games, we specially focus on some of the promising Indian medal contenders. Today, All India Radio takes a look at the medal hope in archery, Tarundeep Rai.
Born on 22nd February 1984, Tarundeep Rai has been one of the mainstays in the Indian archery for the last 18 years. The Sikkim-born archer qualified for the Tokyo Olympics in 2020 following an impressive performance in the 2019 World Championships at the Netherlands. The trio of Tarundeep Rai, Atanu Das and Praveen Jadhav bagged a silver medal in the men's recurve event there. The 3 archers qualified for the individual as well as the team event at the Tokyo Olympics. Tarundeep was also part of the team that won silver medal at the World Championship earlier at Madrid in 2005. The 37-year-old became the first Indian to win an individual men's silver medal in archery at the 2010 Asian Games in Guangzhou, China. The veteran archer will be taking part in his 3rd Olympics after 2004 Athens and 2012 London Games. Tarundeep was conferred with the Arjuna Award in 2005 and was awarded with the Padma Shri in 2020.
In men's cricket, India will resume their first innings at the overnight score of 146 for 3 against New Zealand on day 3 of the World Test Championship final in Southampton. After the first day of the World Test Championship final was lost to rain, the second day allowed only 64.4 overs of play before poor light ended play when India were 146 for 3 against New Zealand at the draw of stumps yesterday. Skipper Virat Kohli was batting on 44 and his deputy Ajinkya Rahane was on 29. The two have so far added 58 runs for the 4th wicket. India were 120 for 3 when they were forced to take an early tea break due to poor visibility. There were 2 more breaks due to poor light post-tea. Earlier, openers Rohit Sharma with 34 runs and Shubman Gill with 28 had provided a solid start of 62 runs in 20 overs as New Zealand bowlers struggled for an ideal line early on. Today, India will hope to get at least 250 to challenge New Zealand.
In Eurocup football, Italy will play against Wales, while Switzerland will take on Turkey in Group A matches at 9:30 tonight. Germany thrashed Portugal 4-2 in a Group F encounter at Munich last night. In a Group E game, the match between Spain and Poland ended in a 1-1 draw. Now let us take a look at the weather report and forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is having a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The maximum temperature will be around 37 degrees Celsius. The minimum was 25 degrees. Mumbai is facing a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The maximum temperature will be 32 degrees Celsius, rising from a minimum of 25 degrees. Kolkata is having a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Srinagar is having a mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening. Jammu is having a partly cloudy sky with possibility of thunderstorm or dust storm. Leh is seeing a partly cloudy sky. The upper limit of temperature will be around 23, rising from a minimum of 10 degrees Celsius. Gilgit is having a generally cloudy sky. In Muzaffarabad, the sky is mainly clear, becoming partly cloudy towards the evening or night. The temperature will increase from a minimum of 20 degrees Celsius to a maximum of around 37 degrees.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Centre to begin free distribution of 75% of total COVID vaccines to all states and union territories from tomorrow. Over 27 crore 66 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. More than 29 crore vaccine doses provided to states and union territories by the centre. Less than 60,000 daily new COVID cases reported in the country after 81 days. COVID national recovery rate improves to 96.27%. Telangana lifts COVID lockdown completely. Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh announced relaxations in lockdown restrictions in view of declining COVID-19 cases. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address lead event of 7th International Day of Yoga tomorrow. Yoga Day to be celebrated in about 190 countries globally. In cricket, India to resume first innings at the overnight score of 146 for 3 against New Zealand on day 3 of World Test Championship final. And in Euro Cup football, Italy to play against Wales, while Switzerland takes on Turkey tonight in Group A matches. And with that, we end the midday news.